3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to give you the Big Bang countdown, but we wanted to fizzle a little bit. I didn't want to keep you waiting for too long. All right, so today I'm so excited to share with you. Everyone's going crazy over this ChatGPT, although this has been around for a long time, right? In different formats. But I'm so glad that I'll be able to share this with you. First, I have a question for you. And as always, you're going to be my eyes and ears once we start sharing the screen. But if you have played around in the past with AI, go ahead in the chat, go ahead and say AI. If you're pretty new to this, meaning even when ChatGPT just came out, 3 months ago, go ahead and say new. So once again, if you have been playing around with AI, if you're in the mix of things, you've been creating content with it, you've been doing other things with it, go ahead and share AI in the chat. And let's see who is here today with us. We have Brooke. Good morning, Brooke. We have Satish. We have Tad. Yes, I need a fog machine for sure. You know, the one that I enjoyed a lot was there's a Mission Impossible one where you can see at the very end where it's about to sizzle out. So we have a lot of people who are new. All right, it's going really fast. We have some, it's about 50-50 at this point. I think, it almost felt like ChatGPT and the AI technology came out of nowhere. But little by little, clearly they were introducing us to the concept of robotics with, the movies, showing different simulations. And then all of a sudden we woke up and one day it's this big thing. And like I mentioned before, it's been around for years. But in my heart, I believe ChatGPT pretty much opened the window for everyone else to get on the ball. It's always about the first to market out there, right? So you could be in the background. This is a great lesson in business too. You could be in the background creating this amazing thing, this life-changing thing, and all of a sudden creeping behind you, someone explodes and launches their product, and now you're racing to market. So we always want to think about who can be first to market, who can be the one that markets it the best. Obviously, Microsoft has come out with their version. Canva has come out with their version. The tool, there's so many SaaS tools that have come out with their version. So right now I'm sold on ChatGPT and I love it. I've used other ones in the past. So I want to walk through with you today how you can start to create 50 pieces of content just from one piece of content in minutes. It takes pretty much minutes, right? Patricia's on, Dakisha's on, Maureen, yes, it's evolving. Can you imagine within the next 3 months how this will change? I just heard from, so this is kind of like sad, but it's interesting too. I heard from someone who actually was able to cut out 200,000 and it's a small business, but 200,000 from team salaries by incorporating things from AI and ChatGPT. So like I said, there's some good things about it, and then there's not going to be some, not so good things about it, right? All right, so let's get going, guys. Oh, I see Kevin's from Tampa. He's here. He's new to ChatGPT. Tammy is from New Jersey. So I'm going to go ahead and start to share my screen. I want to get into it because we have a lot to cover. As you know, I do these master classes once a month. I have another one coming up in 3 weeks. So I just wanted to share this with you because this is a thing that I think you cannot wait to learn about. Like anything else, even LinkedIn, 3 years ago, there were a lot of companies who were not using LinkedIn. The pandemic hit. They realized they have no other option. So I don't want you to be in a position where you have no other option. I want you to be able to learn and understand what's going on, even if we just walk through it so you have an understanding. And this could set you up for a new skill set. This could set you up to make sure that you stay relevant and competitive in this digital space. So let's go ahead and we're going to share our screen, walk you through a few things. I'd love for you to make, if you can share in the chat, as I share the screen, let me know. The first thing I'm going to share with you is just a Google Doc of things that I'm building out. Let me know if you can see this, right? So it looks like, okay, so I want to make sure I am not as small. Can you see my Google Doc? Okay. All right, we have Michael, AI new. Let me know if you can see my Google Doc. Okay. What I'm going to do, the first thing that I'm going to do is I write blog posts. So I encourage you guys, whether it's starting with your newsletters, whether you can use some podcast episodes, You just want to get the transcription from either your blog post, from your newsletter, from your podcast episode, from interviews you have done. Maybe you speak at an event and you can actually download this transcript from that. What I did, and I'm going to show you a different screen. So what I did, this is part of my newsletter. Hopefully all of you guys are subscribed. I took what is my newsletter, my last issue of my newsletter, and I'm going to transcribe it. I pretty much transcribed it. And what we're going to do based on that, this is my newsletter, transcribed. We're going to create 10 different tweet posts from this blog post. And that's all. I'm going to actually copy and paste the actual blog post, and I'm going to put it into ChatGPT, and I'm going to tell them that that's exactly what I want to do. So let's walk through that, okay? So all I'm going to do is just copy and paste this. Like I mentioned before, if you were on a podcast recently, you can do this from a podcast episode. All you have to do is go on something like otter.ai and go ahead and transcribe it. So we're copying it. I am now going to put in ChatGPT, and this is ChatGPT for those who have not seen it. All you have, and I bought the, so I'm on Plus because I pay monthly, because what will probably end up happening is if you are on the basic free plan, they may throttle it. It may be slower. When things go down, you don't have priority. So this is pretty much what it looks like on the back end. So let's go ahead and plug in our request. My request is to please create 10 different tweet posts from this blog post. Watch it go, guys. It's crazy, isn't it? Now it's creating those 10 different tweet posts. Yeah, so if you have all of this amazing content, then there's no reason that you shouldn't be repurposing. Even if you think about things from last year, this is going to keep you ahead of the game. I am not a big, you have to create 100 posts per month and put it out there, because if you don't have a team, if you don't have the access, it's going to be very hard to do. And to me, the right content strategy is way more important than just putting out content. So you always, before you do any of this, think about your content strategy. You may start to theme content monthly. So what is my theme of content for whether the week or for the month? And then you can theme it that way, right? So let's go ahead and take one of these. I'll go through and I'll read some of the outputs that we got from this. So we have, want to build a strong personal brand on LinkedIn? Start by identifying the key challenges in your industry and share your insights on them. All right, that's really cool. That's a good one. All right, another one just for you guys who cannot see this because it's not large, obviously. Share your expertise and offer practical tips for addressing the challenges in your industry. That's the key to building a strong personal brand on LinkedIn. I like that one. So let's go ahead and create, and like I mentioned, there are 10 of these. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our first tweet post. This is what you typically, you've seen it in different places. You've seen it on LinkedIn, you've seen it on Instagram, you've seen it all over different social media platforms. So here's we're just going to go into Canva. I'm not sure who's using Canva yet, but if you're using Canva for a lot of your content, go ahead and type Canva in the chat if you're using Canva for your content. So all I do is, this is like a Instagram tweet post. I have my picture, I add my name, and I add my social media handle. And create your own if you don't have a social media handle. For mine, it is at the LinkedIn Black Belt, right? All right, so let's go ahead. I copied it, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste it. Same thing that I copied from ChatGPT. I delete this. What I want to do, this is 34 point. I want to make sure it's big enough so if someone's scrolling on their cell phone, they can see this. Another thing that I like to do, and let me just show you just a quick a Canva tutorial. I did something in the background because typically as you're scrolling through LinkedIn, everything is pretty much black and white. The things that tend to pop out on you are going to be the things that have color the things that are different from all the other pieces of post on the, and you've seen that too, that are different than all the other pieces of post on the platform. So I can change the colors around. These are pretty much my brand colors. I can change the background to be yellow. I can change it to be this color. I can change it to be that color. What I want to do is I want to make sure the text is big enough that my audience, as they're scrolling through about their day, they're going to see my post, or I want to bring attention to the color. All right. Who thought that? Share in the chat. If you think that was fascinating, what I just did, go ahead and share in the chat. I'm going to make sure I get this a little bit bigger so all of you guys can see it. So you can see the output of it, okay? And I just went into presentation mode so you can see it. So that's the output of 1 of 10 different pieces of content that you can share on LinkedIn. Well, create, correct. And all you have to do for this, you can just do a copy, and I'll show you how to do that. Share your expertise and offer practical tips for addressing the challenges in your industry. That's the key. It could say share or it could be sharing, whichever one you want to do, but share, past tense, present tense. All right, so let me just show you how you can just bulk create that, as someone said. This is duplicate the page, and you could duplicate it 10 times, and all you have to do is copy and paste the next tweet into this. All right, so that's step 1. That's the first thing that we're doing. The next thing that we want to do, so that's our first 10. The next thing, you guys are by now, hopefully you know about LinkedIn polls. So let's go ahead and create 10 different LinkedIn polls from the blog post. What we want to do, and if you've seen any of my other masterclasses or events, don't just create LinkedIn polls just to create a poll because you know it's popular and you want to create a poll. Make sure this is like your market research, data that you can take from your audience. Maybe they can help you to shape the type of content that you want to put out there. So let's go ahead and create 10 different LinkedIn polls from this blog post. I'm going to copy it. We're going to go into ChatGPT. 2 different ways that you can do this. Now we're back in ChatGPT. I trust that ChatGPT would remember that I pasted a blog post above. Let's see if it did. We can play along together, right? So now I'm just going to say, please create 10 different LinkedIn polls from the blog post. And there we are. How often do you post on LinkedIn to build your personal brand? Blog posts, daily, weekly, monthly, really or never. These are all taken from that one piece of content that I had. So now as I start to think about it, because I need to know how active my audience is, I need to know how my audience uses LinkedIn, I need to know what my audience needs help with because I help people with LinkedIn. And for those of you who don't know me, so you're visiting this masterclass, but you don't know who I am, I'm Deborah Ashley, the LinkedIn Black Belt, and I help my audience, I help my clients use LinkedIn in order to get to their goals. And for some people, that's building brand awareness. For other people, they're building a pipeline of business. For other people, they want to position themselves as an industry expert in order to get more opportunities, okay? You can see it clear. All right, no buffering. I think someone may have mentioned buffering. So let me just run down this really quickly for you. All the different ones. I won't go through it. So when we think about polls on LinkedIn, you have a question and you have a multiple choice. For your polls on LinkedIn, you can give them 3 days to answer. You can give them 1 week to answer. I typically stretch mine out for 7 days. You can give them 2 weeks to answer. So some of the poll questions that you can do over the next month or so, what do you consider the most important aspect of personal branding on LinkedIn? So I need to know when I ask this question to my audience, it will tell me their goals. Another one, what is the biggest challenge facing your industry today? Is it technological disruption? Is it changing consumer preferences? Is it economic uncertainty? I would imagine a lot of people have C. Or is it regulatory changes? So based on what my audience tells me their biggest challenge is, now I know that I can start to create some content based on that, right? Another one, number 3, how often do you post on LinkedIn to build your personal brand? Number 4, how do you approach sharing your industry insights on LinkedIn? So I could ask, do they share original content and insights? Do they repost their articles or content from others? That's user-generated content. Or do they just engage in conversations in the comments, or all of the above? What type of content do you find most effective for building your personal brand on LinkedIn? Now, this is my audience telling me, this is what I need to hear from you. This is what I need to see from you. So I want to find out, do you like written articles or posts? Do you prefer images and graphics? Do you prefer videos or other? Doing other in your polls is a great way to build engagement, because when they do other and I typically say, please share that in the comments. Now you're building engagement in your chat, and the algorithm is seeing that this post needs more attention. And like I mentioned before, if my audience tells me that they prefer more videos, guess what I'm going to do? Go ahead and share in the chat. If my audience tells me that all they like is the best way to learn, or all they like is videos, tell me what I'm going to do. Share that in the chat. While we're waiting, we'll say Robert D says, great LinkedIn strategies for those starting with AI and ChatGPT. Too much manual copy and pasting for my taste, but will incorporate these strategies to my automations. Yeah, you do it once, you schedule it. Don't forget LinkedIn has scheduling. So you do it once, you schedule it, or you get your team member to do it once, schedule it. You don't even have to come on. Don't tell LinkedIn I told you this. You don't even have to come on LinkedIn. I work with clients who don't even have to come on LinkedIn because we schedule everything, okay? All right. Maureen and everyone got it right. Yep. This means Maureen and Adrian, I'm just going to post more videos. Doesn't mean I'm just posting videos and nothing else. But if I know that my audience, they learn the best, or they consume videos more than anything else, I'm going to make sure I give them what they need. All right. So let's go on. We have the rest of the polls there. Let's go on to the next thing. All right. So now we want to create 10 different LinkedIn posts from the blog post. Same thing. It's just a simple question. It's thinking, it's doing its work. We have these are short ones. So this to me is almost like as we can think about it, this is an intro for me. So here's how I would position this, right? And once again, it's going through all 10. So here's the first one. I always talk about starting any of your posts with a hook, because if someone has, 1 split second to read your post, you want to make sure that it grabs their attention if it's relevant for them. So building a strong personal brand on LinkedIn isn't just about showcasing your skills and experiences. It's about sharing your personality and passion for your work. Learn how to do it with these, and I would say learn how to do it with these 5 simple tips. Here is another thing. Want you to make sure you guys are seeing this. So here is another way that I can utilize this, right? And I want you to share in the chat if this is helpful as I build this out. So we have building a strong personal brand on LinkedIn isn't just about showcasing your skills and experiences. It's about sharing your personality and passion for your work. Learn how to do it with these simple tips. All right, share 5 tips related to post 1. And I would make this a lot shorter, guys. I would say share your unique perspective, be consistent, showcase your personality. You got to give it up. You got to give it up. Tell me if this is blowing your mind right now, how this is working for you. If this is helpful for you, go ahead and type a 1. If you're kind of bored and you're trying to get yourself from going to sleep, go ahead and type 2. I'm okay too, Youngest child, Leo, we get bored a little bit easier than most. So if this is helpful, go ahead and if this is great, that's good too. Go ahead and type 1. If this is not helpful and you're a bit bored, I'm bored is an easy one. At least that's going to keep you awake. Fabulous. Corrine says it's blowing her mind. Sherry says, can ChatGPT pull videos? Yes. So it can pull from your videos. So what you're going to do with your videos, you're going to push your videos through otter.ai or any of the other transcription tools, and you're going to have it transcribe your video. If you have audio, it can transcribe your audio for you too, okay? All right, fabulous. Wow, not anyone bored yet. Oh, no one wants to admit it. All right, fabulous, guys. Let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing is we want to generate 10 listable posts from the key takeaways. I have a repeat here. So we're up to 40 so far. Copy. We're going back into ChatGPT. And we're just going to say generate 10 listicle posts from the key takeaways. Let's hope that it is smart enough, because we've been doing this for about 5 minutes, that it knows exactly what I'm talking about. If not, you just have to make sure this is an exercise in communicating clearly. If it doesn't generate what you need, that just means you didn't communicate clearly. Let's go ahead and see it. It's doing it. 5 key challenges facing your industry today and how to address them. And it's telling me that I need to identify the biggest pain points in the industry and offer practical tips for navigating them. You see that? All you have to do, you don't necessarily have to write, and you can create a actual regular post from this, but I would just list the 5 key challenges. And then maybe the next day or the next week, I would then address each of the key. I mean, this could go on forever. This could easily be 90 days of content, 365 days of content. I'll let you see a few more. 5 key challenges facing your industry today and how to address them. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 5 things, and then maybe one sentence on how to address them. 7 benefits of building a strong personal brand on LinkedIn. 10 tips to sharing your personality and passion on LinkedIn, all the way through to 4 steps to building a strong personal brand on LinkedIn. Powerful. You know what? I'm curious. What will you be working on first? Will you be working on the tweets? Will you be working on the listicles? Will you be working on other things? So a listicle. So Michelle wants to know, great question. What is a listicle? So a listicle, you may have seen it on LinkedIn before. And if you haven't, then let me give you an example as we do in ChatGPT, okay? 8 creative ways to stand out on LinkedIn. So you're going to have 8 creative ways to stand out on LinkedIn. Number 1, do more video. Number 2, and I'm making these up as we go along. Number 2, collaborate with another creator on LinkedIn and do a live event. Number 3, share more memes. That's not a recommendation from me, guys. So a listicle is just a very short list, step-by-step of what you can do in order to get to your goal. Let me know if that's clear, Michelle, okay? List plus article equals listicle without the articles, of course. Yeah, just your step-by-step. Yeah, Yogesh, if you want to speak, and if any of you guys have questions or you'd like to work with me on building out your content strategy, go ahead and send me a message. That's something I help with too. So I'm more than happy to help you with that. All right. So let's go back. We have our final one to get to our 50. So now I've heard that my audience wants me to do all video, right? I did that poll and I heard that my audience wants me to do all video. So I don't know what type of video to do. Maybe I can do it based on this blog post. So now I am just pasting, create topics for 10 video shorts. I don't necessarily want to do, once again, my monthly videos, my masterclass, they're typically 45 minutes. They're typically 30 to 45 minutes. When I do regular videos, I can do anywhere from 60 seconds to 5 minutes. So I say specifically to ChatGPT, create topics for 10 video shorts. They know that it's not going to be a long video, but it's going to be something that's short and digestible. All right, so you can see create topics for 10 video shorts, and away we go. So as it's creating the 10 topics for video shorts, I'm also going to say outline these videos for me. And let's even just say, I'm going to say outline video number 4 for me. There you go, guys. That's it. And you don't have to include all of this. This to me would be a longer masterclass, a longer video. But this is an outline of all the videos that you can create. I mean, let's be real. This is way more than 50 pieces of content, but what I love about it, I can use it on different platforms. I can then create videos on YouTube. I can build out, if you have a podcast, you can start to map out your podcast episodes. What questions do we have, guys? What questions do we have about this entire process? And Carolee says you can actually do this with the video or article URL. Yes. So you can actually, but for ChatGPT, it's better to have the actual transcript of the video. But the article URL, yes, that works really, really good. All right. So Alfredo wants me to share the Google Doc format, and I'll walk you through that really quickly. So what I did, Alfredo, is I took a blog post that I had, I transcribed it out, and you can do anything that you would like to create from these. You can create any set of pieces of content, any sets of posts. So I did, please create 10 different tweet posts from the blog post. I did, please create 10 different LinkedIn posts from the blog post. I did, please create 10 different LinkedIn posts from the blog post. I did generate 10 listicle posts from the key takeaways in the blog post, and I did create 10 topics with video shorts. All right. So you post the video in the ChatGPT. I'm not, Maureen, let me know what you mean by that. I'm not quite clear on the question. Give me the instance if you post the video, and you cannot post actual videos. You would post the transcripts always, okay? Do you ever disclose that you use ChatGPT on the content itself? No, I don't. No one has. If you can imagine, guys, this is not the first thing, the first phase of AI. You may have hired a copywriter for the past 2 years, and they've been using AI to put out your content. So no, you don't have to disclose it. I haven't necessarily used it. I use it on some of my videos, but I'm not disclosing it. So, all right. So Kevin says, what should we do first to grow business on LinkedIn and IG? Good question, Kevin. We have that coming up in my masterclass is coming up in 3 weeks. IG, I'm not really discussing on LinkedIn, but I will go through that on the masterclass in 3 weeks, okay? So make sure that you guys are registered. If you're not connected with me, actually connect with me because I can only invite people who are my first connections to these events. Anyone else who sees it, they actually join the events and they actually register, but I can only actually invite my first connections. And then you guys typically share it with your network so they can attend my events again, okay? All right, Dr. Sandy said, where did Dr. Sandy's post go? Sorry, Dr. Sandy, I lost your post, but I know you had a question. Oh, there you are. I've had this thing, but never used it, but will do so right away. I'm so glad. And Dr. Sandy was talking to Sherry. All right, guys, any other questions before I wrap up? What I'll do is I'm going to go in the chat and I am going to respond to any of the questions that I did not address, that I did not see while I was going through this, okay? If this has been helpful for you, why don't you create a post about it? Go ahead and you can say that I attended. It could be as simple as I attended a training on how to turn one piece of LinkedIn content into 50 pieces in minutes using ChatGPT by Deborah Ashley, the LinkedIn Black Belt. And these are the 3 things that I learned. So it's like your listicle, right? And you can also, just so I can go ahead and like and support you and celebrate that you put the post on, go ahead and use my personal hashtag, which is hashtag the LinkedIn Black Belt. So go ahead and either share this with someone in your audience that you know that could benefit from it, or go ahead and do a takeaway post, which is also going to start to say, now I'm this industry leader. If you want to position yourself as a thought leader, or industry leader, you want to share content with your audience, but you don't necessarily want to write it yourself, you can go ahead and you can share the takeaways from this video. All right. And yes, for Raymond wants to know, is there going to be a replay? The replay, it's going to stay live here. So if you guys didn't see everything, if you go back to my page, it's going to be actually right on my feed. Okay, guys? All right, guys. So glad that you were able to join me today. If you have any questions, go ahead and type yes. If you're going to start using ChatGPT, this is the month of March. Happy Women's International Month. If you're going to start using any form of AI or anything to start putting out better content, go ahead and say yes in the comments. If this has at least helped you to start thinking about how you can start to put out better content, go ahead and send and say yes. Okay. All right, Olivia, you're so welcome. And all right, very helpful, fabulous. Eleanor said, thank you, thoroughly enjoyed. I'm so glad, guys. Adrian said, great content. Thank you so much. All right, fabulous. I'm so excited for this. I will chat with you guys later. Stay tuned. Like I mentioned, my next masterclass is the end of the month. If you are a part of my network, you will get a personal invitation. If not, obviously, I'll share the link in the chat too, so you can actually join on your own. All right, guys, I will chat with you later. So fabulous to have you here with us. I'll chat with you soon. Bye.